Hey y'all, it's your girl Princess Lashaun. I am back with another video, and today I'm going to be discussing grieving, right? And I don't mean grieving from the loss of someone from the earth, right? I mean grieving the loss of friendship, of a relationship. I feel like this is important, right? Because many of us go through it, and we have to normalize the feelings that come with the process of not having the person in our life anymore. It's difficult because when you have somebody in your life for such a long period of time and then they are now removed from your life, it hurts, it causes sadness, you may feel lonely, and that's okay. Ultimately, right, I'm talking about if you had to remove someone for your best interest, right? If they were not benefiting you in the way that they should have been, maybe they weren't being a good friend, or maybe they weren't being good in a relationship, whatever the case is, right? One of the main things you have to do is first remember why they are not in your life anymore. Why did you remove them in the first place? What were some of the things that caused them to be removed from your life? Not all relationships are loving or healthy. And in that case, when you know that the relationship is not loving and it's not healthy, you take a step back and you say, so why am I actually sad, right? But that's just a part of the process. Some of the things you could do when you're experiencing these feelings is just, especially if the person wasn't good to you, is write a list. Write a list of the pros and the cons about the person. Because sometimes people need like tangible things, right, to reflect on whether this person needed to be removed from their life or not. And normally when you write that list, you're like, oh, it brings back a sense of clarity, which is what you need in your distressing moments, when you have moments where you want to be weak, where you just want to be like, okay, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to engage with them and do the things that I said that I wasn't going to do, right? We also have to think about our values, because our values is the thing that helps us define our limits. So our values ultimately teach us to trust ourselves enough to leave relationships when they're not healthy for us, because they help us create boundaries, which is 100% necessary in life, because you have to allow people to know like the things that you will and you will not tolerate. And when you don't make clear distinctions and have strong values about your yeses and your nos, people can take advantage of that sometimes. Ultimately, you can't waste your time on things that you can't change. So that just means you cannot change what was. The only thing you can change is how you feel about the situation. So if you're knocking yourself because you removed this person from your life and now you feel like a sense of remorse or anything, you have to really think about it like, but I made the best decision for myself from that perspective. And when you think about it like that, it should help alter your mindset about things and how you feel about yourself, because it's easy to wish somebody was different. It's easy to wish that things had gone better, but ultimately you have to deal with the reality of the situation and what things really are, instead of, hoping for something different, because we can all hope for different things, but the situation is going to be what it's going to be. Don't waste your time over things that are out of your control. I think that was one of the biggest things I learned in my adult life. Like not to waste my time on things I can't control. Because if you waste your time on things you can't control, you will literally be frustrated all the time. There will not be a moment where you're not upset, because there are a bunch of things that happen that are not in our control. And somebody treating you bad, somebody not giving you the treatment that you know you deserve, somebody not respecting you and not respecting your boundaries, that you can't control that. You can't control anybody but yourself. And realistically, we even have a hard time controlling ourselves. So if that's the case, you should not, even dwell on those feelings. You then have to find like forgiveness for that person. It doesn't mean that you have to let that person back in your life, but forgiveness gives you a freedom from burden, from resentment, and it's easier to maintain negative feelings, right? But the negative feelings drag you down. So you want to remove those negative feelings out of your life and remove that heaviness and move towards a positive direction. And so that would mean you have to forgive, right? Which can be a hard process. And I'm not saying that it has to happen tomorrow, right? But I'm saying that it should be a process that you're working towards, because you don't need space in your heart for resentment or rage or anger towards somebody else. And then finally, focus on yourself. Like really invest in yourself, really invest in the things that you want to do, progressing yourself, leveling up. Use that experience with that person to improve yourself. Like do some self-reflection. Like, do I need to set more boundaries? Do I need to be more expressive? Because a lot of the times, you know, as people, we don't take accountability for the things that we do and the decisions that we make and how we interact with other people, but that plays a big role in how the relationship goes. I'm a firm believer in people will only do what you allow them to do and what you show them that they can get away with. So when you show people that they can disrespect you, when you show people that you don't respect you, because when people disrespect you and you don't have anything to combat that, you're showing them that you don't respect yourself. And you never want to have that type of sign on yourself, because then people take advantage of that. And it's very sad, because you would hope that people don't, but ultimately, you know, losing a friend, losing a ex, losing anybody can be hard. And I just want you guys to be able to normalize that feeling, normalize the sadness, but ultimately make sure you weigh your options, so that you can know why you left the situation, and know that you have to be your biggest supporter. You have to want the best for yourself. And if that means that you remove somebody from your life and now you have to deal with the feelings, that's okay. That is 100% okay. And just pour into yourself and focus on you and just be the best version that you could possibly be. But don't ever feel like other people are not feeling the way you feel, because you're definitely not alone. But that's all I have for today. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel so you know when I post my next video, and I'll see you guys later.